Oh my goodness. Eventually, the shock finally registered with me. A numb feeling spread from the center of my brain almost instantly. Nagito is dead. Even when I saw this before me, I wasn't able to comprehend that reality yet.
あれな
What's going on here? Is he really dead? He's not pretending to be dead, is he? That's actually the first thing I thought of when I saw that body, because, you know, it's Nagito, so... But he looks fairly dead. So I think he's dead. Yeah, you know how previously, even if someone died to a really brutal method, their faces though, the facial expressions, no matter how much blood they had on them, they were always, more on the neutral side. But in Nagito's case, it was clearly full of shock and horror, so I think that's what made me feel like this is a real murder. And that might be why they made him have that expression too, because if he had a neutral expression, I would have really questioned if he was dead or not. I mean, it's Nagito, you know? That's right, it's Nagito. He always messed with us. He always tried to confuse us. That's why... I can't believe it. Nagito ended up in such a cruel state. Nagito is dead. Deep down, I believed that when the killings finally ended, I'd never see this guy again. I never expected I'd be looking at Nagito's body like this. Nagito probably thought the same thing. I couldn't help seeing it in his dead, frightened face. But on this island, unbelievably abnormal occurrences happen all the time. Even Nagito couldn't escape that truth. But even something as small as that... Well, there's the confirmation.
死体が発見されました。一定の捜査時間の後、学級裁判を開きます。
まさか
The body discovery announcement. Then it's for real. Then Nagito is really dead? It's not just that he's dead. If the body discovery announcement was made, does that mean Nagito was killed? Killed? Plus, it's one of us. I mean, that's what it means, right? One of us killed Nagito? One of us killed him so brutally? Then it's going to start again? Huh? The class trial is going to start soon, right? Then...
もちろん。Yep, we gotta do it. We gotta find out who killed Nagito. No matter who you guys sacrifice, you're determined to survive and leave this island, right? Then the time for action is now. So, allow me to give you the familiar Monokuma fact. Hold it right there. What? Don't get in my way like that. I was about to whip out the Monokuma file in such a cool way. Shut up! I can't stand this anymore! How much longer are you gonna keep putting them through this? No more! I won't let you! I'll make sure I pulverize your evil intentions! Say something! Oh, now I remember who you are. You're Monomi. You just now noticed? Anyway, Monomi, if you're gonna talk to me about my intentions, why don't you talk about yours first? What are your intentions anyway? Why are you keeping everyone cooped up on this island? I'm sure everyone here wants to know too, you know?
Can't say.
What? No fair! You're shutting up too!
Enough already! We already have enough to deal with concerning Nagito. Please, don't say anything else that will confuse us. Anyway, let's begin.
But...
I mean, in the end, we still have to do it, right? As long as a killing happens, we can't do anything about it, right? We have no choice but to do it, right? Besides, it's our fault that we couldn't even prevent it. I know. That's the only way we can survive, right?
Boo boo boo! Looks like you kids are way more well-behaved than Monomi.
Don't fuck with me! We're tired of this too, you know? That's why I'll definitely make sure to finish this for good this time!
Does that mean you guys are getting bored of this school trip? Don't worry, the end is near.
Huh? The end?
Don't make a face like a pig that's about to become bacon. You've already noticed it, right?
The timer?
The meaning behind that Monokuma timer. I guess there's only 2 days left, huh?
When that timer reaches 0, 2 days from now, what will happen to us?
Huh? The killing school trip will be over.
If this will finally be over, does that mean we can go home?
Don't count your bears before they've hatched. There's still something you gotta do before that, right? So, once again, you guys need to find out who Negito's killer is and survive the class trial. If this ends here, there won't be an afterward at all. Okay, do your best. Hold on. I won't let you escape this time. Wait right there.
What do you guys think? If the school trip is nearly at an end, it's safe to think that we can go home, right? Kazuichi, I understand how you feel, but we need to focus on Nagito's case first. Even if we can go home, it'll be the end for us if we screw up here. Then let's hurry up and solve Nagito's case so we can all go back home. Not all of us. It is nice to think everyone can go home, but that is impossible, right? I mean, someone in this room killed Nagito. There's a killer among us. The weight of those words began to sink into me. That was true of the previous cases, but was it really true this time? No matter how much I tried, I couldn't believe it. Because the victim was Nagito? Because his death was so abnormally cruel? No, it wasn't just that. There was something more to it than that. And whatever it was stuck inside me. First, we need to look at the Monokuma file. The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Oh, that should ring a lot of warning bells inside us. Noon! That's when the fireworks were supposed to go off, but remember, someone tampered with it. And I don't believe it's Nagito. Someone tampered with it and made it go off a little bit earlier. Huh, that means Nagito was pretty much killed the moment the fire started, really. And because we all had alibis at noon, that immediately makes me think that Nagito died due to some sort of automated system. Some sort of system that goes off at noon. Especially to give the killer an alibi. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. What a tragic situation. Just reading this is making me depressed. Is there something wrong with this Monokuma file? Again? But what's wrong with it? Yeah? Spear in stomach, multiple stab wounds on each thigh? Are you saying like there's stab wounds but there's no spear or what? Laceration on his left arm? And a knife impaled through his right hand. Okay. Yeah? Wait, what's wrong with that?
It's definitely weird. Well, I guess I'll find out if I look around. That's what the investigation is for.
Don't worry or form conclusions on your own. That makes me more worried than I should be.
We can discuss it later. Right now is our only chance to investigate. So we should investigate first. If we don't, there won't be anything for us to discuss.
Well, I guess you're right. Then let's start with the area surrounding Nagito's body. I should start with the back of the warehouse. Since the curtain blocked most of the water, this area wasn't affected by the sprinklers that much. Thanks to that, I can properly investigate Nagito's body. I never thought I'd have to investigate Nagito's body. He probably didn't expect to end up like this either. Yeah, if his face wasn't so frightened looking, this might have been part of the whole, oh, I will die for hope, blah 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 blah. But, you know, he is very frightened looking, so... Okay, so the first thing I noticed is, what is this? There's a blood mark there, for some strange reason. See, from the position, it seems like maybe the spear, like, fell down like that. What is that spear anyway? Is it like a light fixture, or what is that? Because there's a spear here too. Not too sure yet. Guess we'll find out.
If only everyone could go home, nothing would make me happier. No, we should finish the class trial, then we can think about what will happen after.
Someone in this room is the killer. Okay, it's not Kazuichi, it's not Akane, because they're too dumb to pull off something like this. But... Fuyuhiko? Sonia? I can't even say that one. One of us killed Nagito in such a cruel way? It's too bizarre. I can't do anything except laugh. Yeah, laughing is a defense mechanism for many people, in many situations. She looks like she's deep in thought while staring at the ceiling. What happened? Is there something strange about the ceiling?
Yeah, about that sprinkler.
That's one of the sprinkler heads that activated to put out the fire.
You can see a girder right next to it, right? There. Can you see that red streak?
Huh? You're right, I definitely see it. It looks like a small red line on the ceiling girder.
Is that blood?
Blood? The color definitely looks like blood, but there's no way blood could get up there, right? Plus, it's in a straight line.
That's why I've been staring at it. I think it's strange.
It's definitely strange. I should remember this. It's weird because even if the spear thing fell down, why would there be blood on it to begin with? Because I am assuming like Nagito's like this, right? So the spear will only get blood when it hits Nagito. So I don't know, did Nagito like fall down from above? I'm not freaking out about it like Kazuichi, but I definitely can't stop thinking about it. When the Monokuma timer reaches 0 2 days from now, what's gonna happen? Huh? What's gonna happen? This rotten school trip is gonna end, right? We can finally go back home! Carefree till the end. Does that mean you don't think that'll happen? Do you think that'll happen? Monokuma might be planning to make us do something after the countdown ends. What do you mean something? He's making us kill each other, you know? What could be worse than that? I don't know. But this is Monokuma we're talking about, you know? There's no way this will end smoothly with a countdown. Anyway, like you said before, if we screw up here, it's the end for us. For now, let's focus on the investigation. We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial. Yeah, I know. And don't bring up strange stuff like that. It mattered for Gundam's killing of Vermikans. But it looks like it's different this time. It doesn't matter this time. What doesn't matter? The time! Looks like the time doesn't matter. It was clearly written in the Monokuma file. The time of death was noon sharp. If it was at noon, what were we doing at the time? What were we doing? Well, right now it's... Oh, wow! So it also has a clock function. Then that means Nagito died 30 minutes ago. Huh? It happened that recently? He's totally a fresh kill! Fresh seems like a bad way to describe it. If it happened 30 minutes ago, was it around the time we were struggling with the bombs? You're right. Those fake bombs were originally supposed to explode at noon. Which means whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time is Nagito's killer. But this could be like when Nekomaru died. The killer could have also used some kind of automatic setup. Also, the crime looks very detailed, so they would have needed time to prepare. Then whoever doesn't have an alibi before we found the bombs is suspicious. Wait, none of us have an alibi for that time. That's when we all split up to search for the bombs. Yeah, that's the problem. Wait, who suggested that we split up? Oh, nobody did, cause... Yeah, yesterday Sonia ran off, and then today the situation forced us to split up, so whoever said, hey, let's split up, it doesn't matter who said it, because the situation forced us to do so. It looks like Akane is getting a little bit smarter though, so that's good to see. Oh, it's an oil lighter. This is where the curtains would have been hanging. It also looks like the fire did extensive damage here. If the oil lighter was placed here... An oil lighter! Someone probably wanted to keep warm. What? It's the most foolish thought! This is clearly the cause of the fire! Oil lighters can continue to burn, even after someone lets go of them. So, using that, the curtain was set on fire. Using the oil lighter, huh? Do you think the killer set up some sort of trick with it? The killer probably planned to destroy evidence by setting this warehouse on fire. They caused the fire to destroy evidence? That's the only reason I can think of why a killer would set fire to their crime, but... I don't think so. Because... Why? Okay, the area behind the curtain was the area unaffected, mostly unaffected by the fire, right? So... I don't think the fire was used to hide evidence. In fact, if it was to do so, why is Nagito's body so perfectly intact? I'm actually more inclined to think that the fire, because of the fire, that's why the murder happened, or that's why the setup worked. Not sure what the setup is yet, though. Monokuma's dead. There's blood coming out of his stomach. Hey.
No response. He's dead, Jim. Just kidding! I'm not dead!
Is this one of the life-size plushies that were being produced at the factory?
If you're mistaking a plushie for me, then there's something wrong with you.
You're a stuffed animal, too.
Don't put oversized garbage there! It's so misleading! What are you calling oversized garbage?
Could this be one of Monokuma's tricks? Then why'd he do it? Making a hole like it got stabbed, and going to the trouble of dirtying the hole with blood. That hole seems a little bit too perfectly round, don't you think? Did he try to imitate Nagito's body or something?
Oh, I had nothing to do with that.
Huh?
He's probably lying. Seriously, you're always lying. You should just die like that plushie over there.
Whoa. Those are some strong words, Monomi.
You seem more pissed than usual these days, Monomi, but you better watch what you say. If I feel like it, I can wipe you out easily, you know. I won't give in to your threats. I'll fight you to the very end. I would definitely take back the seat of world supremacy from Monokuma.
World supremacy, huh? Looks like those annoyances are gone. If it wasn't Monokuma's trick, then who did this? Could the killer have done this? If so, is this Negito's blood? I have no idea how this connects to the incident. This could be similar to the fourth case in the original one in that multiple people have tampered with the crime scene because remember, Nagito had a video message, which is why we came here in the first place. But in the video message, he obviously was not dead and did not look dead, and you know, he just didn't seem like he was in danger at all. So maybe he set something up, and then the killer kinda took parts of his setup to do their own setup. So we could be seeing evidence from two different things here. Looks like a bunch of plastic bottles. Remnants of plastic are scattered all over the place. This is probably... plastic breaks like that? Those fire grenades that were used to put out the fire. Well, they weren't actually that useful in the end. The fire was only extinguished thanks to the sprinklers. Well, nevertheless, this evidence really isn't that strange. And that's it. I never expected Nagito to die like this. He was always spouting nonsense about hope and trying to confuse the hell out of us. But even so, dying like this is just too cruel. Also, he wasn't completely useless. There were times we were only able to reach the truth because of him. But everything good and bad about him is gone. We'll never be confused by him again. We'll never be saved by him again. No, now isn't the time to think about unnecessary things. I need to focus on the investigation right now. His mouth is taped shut. Damn, what a way to go. Shit, man. Jesus. I mean... right now, it's okay to assume that whoever killed Nagito is the traitor, right? Because Nagito knows their identity, so maybe the traitor doesn't want their identity to come out? Or maybe someone just really hates Nagito, because I think every single person here has grounds to really hate him, because he tried to kill us. All of us. Nagito's right wrist is tied with rope. But it looks like the tip of that rope burned off. Could this be a result of the fire? But that's weird. If the rope is burned off like this, why are Nagito's clothes completely unaffected by the fire when he was so close to the blaze? Again, another thing that says the fire was not a method to hide the evidence. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards that the fire was actually part of the contraption that killed Nagito. He's pretty much completely unburnt right now, though. The knife is stabbed through Nagito's right hand. Did the killer do this? How could they do something so cruel? This knife, it must be from the military base. Military base? Oh, now that you mention it, you're right. It looks like a survival knife. By the way, it seems like the wounds on his legs and left arm were caused by the same knife. Whoa, how would you know that? Which means, after the killer finished stabbing Nagito's legs and left arm, they stabbed a knife through his right hand? And then they finished him off with a spear. How cruel! Then does that mean the killer went to the trouble of using two weapons, a knife and a spear? But they could have just killed him by stabbing him with a knife. Why did they need to use a spear at all? That is definitely strange. Was there a reason they had to use it? A reason they had to use the spear, huh? That spear, is that a weapon grade spear, or is it just like some random long looking thing? There's a cut on his upper left arm. His legs and right hand have stab wounds, but this wound looks like a slice. That's probably the reason the wound on his left arm doesn't look that deep compared to his other wounds. Well, regardless, it doesn't change the fact that it's a hideous wound and there's blood everywhere.
難易度高いな。
There's something strange. Strange? What?
ほら。
Look at the palm of his left hand. I think that blood is from when his left arm was sliced, but... Doesn't the blood splatter look strange? It cuts off right in the middle of his palm. Yeah, it definitely cuts off. Maybe that's as far as the blood could reach when it splattered. Well, that would explain the blood on his palm, but... There's something else that's strange. When you flip it over and look at the back of his hand... Here, there's also blood, but only above the middle joint of each finger. You're right. Why is it only on this part? See? It's just as I said, right? It's strange, right? I win! Yeah, sure, you win. What did the killer do to make the blood splatter like this? More like what position was Nagito in when the blood splattered, right? Was he facing down, or was his hand facing down at least? Strange. A spear with a flashy ornament on it is impaled deeply into Nagito's stomach. There's no way around it. That looks like the fatal wound.
Oh my! What's this? Such a strange looking spear, isn't it? A cord extends from the tip of the handle, and there's an iron weight attached to it. I see. You used the cord as a whip to capture the enemy and delivered the final blow with the spear.
Is this your first time looking at this too?
Of course not. This is the spear of Gungnir, right?
Oh! That's the spear that killed Mukuro, right? You definitely just came up with that now.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, where did the spear come from?
I feel like I saw it at Nezumi Castle. Oh, yeah, there was the back wall. I was looking at it while I was editing the video. The back wall, I never touched it, but there were some spears on it.
What? Nezumi Castle? I was designed to be afraid of mice, so I can't go in there.
Yeah, okay, I actually went back on a previous save. Oh, by the way, I never got to mention it, but I did manage to go back and get that Monokuma that I was missing from chapter 4, and I managed to save my pet. I saved the pet that was dead in chapter 4, so it grew into this thing. But more importantly, anyway, when I was replaying the whole thing again to try to get back to where I am, I did look at the spears, but I remember the description. It wasn't anything special, but they said it was like a Nordic spear or something. Well, if it wasn't mandatory to look at, probably that won't affect our investigation anyway.
Damn you mice! Damn you all to hell!
I see. Even he doesn't know what's inside the castle. Well, more importantly, I need to focus on the investigation. The spear definitely catches my eye, but the weight on the end of the cord coming out of the handle. It looks like that part has blood on it, too. But for some reason, this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. It's about the size of a human fist. It's strange that the section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. Oh my god, it's so repetitive! Also, Chiaki mentioned this earlier, but apparently the spear came from Nezumi Castle. It might be better if I confirm that later. Okay, we can go look at it later. Good, because I don't think I recorded that part where I looked at it. Both of Nagito's legs are tied up. Okay, yeah, so there's a rope on each of his limb. Seems like he was fixated in some sort of position, right? And then maybe the fire caused it so that the stuff that killed him came crashing down or something, I don't know. Each rope is tied to the pillars nearby. He wouldn't have been able to move at all. According to the Monokuma file, the wounds on his legs are all stab wounds. Does that mean the killer didn't just tie up Nagito? They also stabbed his legs? Why would the killer do something like that? Because it's fun to torture people?
くそ
At any rate, it's pretty sadistic. The killer must have been holding a huge grudge toward him. Well, that's pretty much everybody here, right? Or they might have been torturing him. Torture?
Huh?
I mean, if they just wanted to kill him, they could have just stabbed him once in the chest, right? If you disregard the spear in his chest, the other wounds were inflicted for reasons other than killing. Which means the wounds all over Nagito's bodies were from the killer torturing him? If that's the case, what was the killer trying to make Nagito confess? Oh! Why would you jump to that conclusion right away? Torture doesn't necessarily mean you have to be trying to get information from someone, right? I mean, yeah, it's okay that you think of it, but I certainly didn't think of it like that. Was it something that would have led to the traitor? Well, even if this was torture, there's no doubt that the killer must have held a deep grudge toward Nagito. Refusing to let him die easily. I can totally understand a dark impulse like that. But even if they held a grudge against him, would they really have gone this far? Did he... I don't know, it's Nagito, so I feel like nothing is ever what it really seems like. He must have been in great pain. He clearly had this agonizing look on his face when he died. His mouth is covered with duct tape. Was this to keep Nagito from screaming for help? Jeez, what a horrible look on his face. The blood splattered all over doesn't help either. It's a good timing, it's a good thing. It's a good thing his mouth is covered with duct tape. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to look at him.
Oh, got a minute? Sorry, excuse me.
Chiaki moved past Kazuichi and me, squatted down next to Nagito's face. And in one swift movement, she ripped the duct tape off of his mouth. Hey, what are you doing?
It'll be fine. I'll put it back right away once I'm done investigating here.
Kinda reminds me of how Kyoko was investigating Sakura's mouth.
Yeah.
Putting the tape back isn't the issue, you ungrateful swine. You're gonna get cursed.
The blood on Nagito's face. It looks like it mostly came from the slice on his left arm. If that's the case...
It's no use. She's not listening.
Hey, about the blood splattered on his face. There's no blood under the duct tape.
Huh?
What's wrong with that?
This duct tape has crinkles, like it was sticking toward the inside of his mouth, right? Nagito was probably desperately moving his mouth under the duct tape.
Seriously, what's wrong with that? She means Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he got those wounds all over his body. So he tried to shout, which caused the duct tape to get sucked into his mouth a bit. But what's wrong with that? Is that something we really need to worry about? I don't really get it, but just put the duct tape back on his mouth already.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, this might be some kind of clue too. I should remember it. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You don't want him to scream while you're torturing him, so... Jeez, I can't believe I actually investigated such a grisly-looking body. Even I'm surprised at myself. Does this mean I'm used to it? My classmate's dead body is right in front of me, and one of my peers is the killer responsible. And I have to investigate his death so I can find his killer. Am I used to something as abnormal as that? That would mean I'm becoming abnormal too. Now then, I guess that's enough investigating the area behind the curtain. The killer's goal wasn't just killing Nagito. There should have been another reason as well. If not, they wouldn't have gone to the trouble of tying him with rope and covering his mouth with duct tape. Not just that, there's no reason to inflict any wounds other than a fatal one. So, what was the reason? Looks like I better investigate other areas to figure that out. Alright, okay. Other areas inside the warehouse. What other areas are there, though? Do I need to talk to people again? Yep. Looks like Sonia's focused on investigating. Which reminds me, there's something I needed to ask her about. Now that we've pretty much finished investigating Nagito's body, I think it's time to talk to her. Hey, Sonia, do you have a minute? Yes? What is it? I want to talk to you about when that fake bomb Nagito set in the warehouse exploded. Right before it exploded, you said something like this, right? It's not real. Why did you know the bombs were a fake? Well... That's not all either. When we were looking for the bombs, why were you at the military base? I thought you were supposed to be searching the central island. Plus, when I called for you, you didn't come to the factory right away. Where were you, and what were you doing during that time? Oh my. Do you suspect me? It is a misunderstanding. I am not the killer. Whoa! What? Sonia? I'm terribly sorry. I was panicking. I shall calm down and explain to you why I was at the military base. When I first explored the final island, I discovered a vast amount of bombs there. Huh? At first, I was worried that someone might use them for nefarious reasons if I announced it to everyone. So I kept silent the whole time. Huh? Does that mean when you heard Nagito planted the bombs, you got suspicious and went to investigate them? And as I suspected, the bombs had disappeared. I thoroughly searched for them inside the military base, but the bombs were nowhere to be found. And because you were searching for them, you were late when we all gathered? And because of that, I reached a conclusion. The bombs Nagito brought were from the military base, which means they were fake bombs. How did you find out that the bombs at the military base were fake? Because I attempted to use one of them! What? I thought one of the bombs would be strong enough to blast open the door to the ancient ruin. At the time, I still believed the bombs were real. And I thought that I could use one of them to gain entrance to the ancient ruin. Hey, Monomi's looking! Monomi's looking! What the hell?
そうか。それでお前だけが軍事施設の爆弾が偽物だって知ってたのか。
私と物見さんもですね。彼女もそれをこっそり覗き見していましたから。つまり
If those bombs are the same ones that disappeared, it would mean Nagito took them. That is why I knew it was a fake. However, I did think it was strange when Nagito blew up the hotel lobby. But those were the octagon bombs, right? That bomb was real, and I could not stop thinking about it. But upon further reflection, that might have been Nagito's plan all along. He showed us a real bomb to make us believe that the bombs he set were real as well. If so, then Nagito's actions were extremely calculated. But the problem is his reason for doing it. With this, I have explained everything.
よろしいでしょうか。
There should be no more reason for you to doubt me. You're right, I got it. Just don't swear at me again.
仕方ねえな。
We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial. Okay. Well, even though I did say I was gonna freaking kill him,
Yeah.
there's no way I would have actually done it. I was just upset, you know? Looks like this side is completely soaked because of the sprinkler. Even if there was an important clue here, we might not be able to notice it. But it's better than the warehouse burning to the ground. Good thing we were able to put out the fire. You didn't actually do anything, so... But there was a lot of smoke. It's a good thing we didn't go inside when we were throwing the grenades.
ですよね。
I agree. If we did, we would have been caught by the sprinklers and become all wet and soggy.
Miss Sonia is all wet. She's all drenched and soggy. You were thinking that, huh?
I wasn't thinking that at all.
Why are you responding, Kazuichi? I was asking Hajime.
She's screwing with me?
Oh my, screwing? How lewd.
Yeah.
Please don't look at me with such fearful eyes. I only imagined it for a second. Kazuichi, just shut up. Kazuichi is the prime example of someone who, should probably be quiet because the more they say, the more they screw up. Books! There are a bunch of books stacked on top of each other. Apparently they contain Monokuma's poetry and photos. Sprinklers soak them. I can't even turn the pages anymore. God. Well, it's not like I'm missing much. That iPod, though. Or excuse me, no proprietary names. All these CDs, they're all copies of Monokuma's music. These should have been burned too. There are a lot of tipped over Monokuma panels. The panel near the curtain in the back is tipped over and burned. Did the fire do that? But why are they scattered like this? The last time I came here, I seem to recall they were neatly stacked. Maybe we're the ones who made this mess? Huh? Look, the tipped over panel by the entrance is really close to the door, right? So maybe the reason these panels are tipped over is... Oh wow! Akane opening the door. Like a domino effect, right? Was that what caused the fire to begin with? So Nagito didn't die until we opened the door. Could it be? Was that it? And there's something else I've been wondering. These Monokuma panels are tipped over starting from the entrance to the back of the warehouse, right? They seem to be lying on top of each other in a straight line. Yeah, compared to the other tipped over panels, that line is the only one that's neat and orderly. Isn't this clearly strange? Strange. That means it's a clue. Intentional. We open the door, the Monokuma's tipped over, and then, I don't know, maybe it knocked over the oil lighter or something. And then the whole thing set on fire, and then Nagito died as soon as we opened the door and set everything on fire. That goes back. This is an MP3 player. There's even a speaker plugged into it. But why is this here?
もしかしてよ。
It looks like that weird music was playing from there. You know, that music that was blaring when the fire started? Yeah, you're right. Looks like it's busted from getting drenched by the sprinklers. There's no mistaking it. That music was playing from that MP3 player. I don't disagree with that, but why? Why? Add to the ambience? Alright, I've pretty much finished looking for clues inside the warehouse. I was able to find some clues, but there's still a lot of things I don't understand yet. You look worried. Yeah, I am. At a time like this, it might be good if you broaden your investigation range. You mean it's good to investigate other places as well? She might be right. There are several things I've been wondering of besides the crime scene. Nezumi Castle! Military base. Plushie factory. Nagito's room. Yep. I'm pretty sure the others have already finished investigating. Hey, you guys! Isn't it about time we leave this place and try exploring other areas too? In response to Chiaki, the others gathered around her. I agree. I was just thinking about proceeding to another area. It seems we have the same idea.
Huh?
But is it safe? There won't be anyone to guard the crime scene. We don't have a choice. There just aren't enough of us. Besides, we've investigated all we can here. I guess you're right. Also, it looks like the clues we found aren't enough to piece this incident together. So, we need to search for them in other areas, probably. Well, alternatively, if there aren't any clues in other areas either, we'd have to give up completely. You don't really need to say that.
No.
Then it's okay if we leave this place? There's no time for us to stand around. In order to survive, there's no other way except to do it. In order to survive, we need to find Negito's killer. If we don't sacrifice that person, nobody can survive. That's our reality. That's why there's no time for us to stand around.